With me today is Lisa Walker, and Lisa is the co founder of Eir Women with a passion of championing midlife wellness. Lisa advocates for health, balance, and purposeful living, all with the utmost joy and love of life. She had a career spanning 25 years in media and PR and is the world's worst aerobic instructor, but a much better yoga teacher. Lisa has moved through so much trauma in her life and turned 10 years of no into a year of yes, which transformed her life and opened up new opportunities and experiences. And that's what we're going to chat with her about today. So, welcome, Lisa.
Hi, Julie. Thank you for having me.
Such a pleasure. So, Lisa, your decision to embrace a year of yes is so incredibly inspiring, especially after going through such profound personal loss. So, what led you to this bold choice, and how did it help you shift your mindset during such a challenging time?
Well, that's a long question, probably a long answer, but I mean, I guess it was really simple. Well, I mean, it started by accident. It wasn't that I set out to do a year of yes. I think I just, within a 3 week period of January 2023, gosh, um, I moved house, started the company, and started my boys into new schools. So I had this 3 week period of just craziness, and then a month later it was my birthday, and I turned 49, and I thought I've had so much change. We've been through so much, and I just felt I needed to challenge myself. It was really to find myself again. So I'd
Mm,
been, and as you know, I'd said no for a long time. My husband had passed away from alcoholism. And during that period, in the last 10 years of being married to him, there was a lot that I was trying to avoid, whether that was going out with friends or any kind of environment where there was drinking involved. And it's something that, you just start to become a little bit more insular and not go out. And I was just very focused on my career and my job and then my boys, and then trying to control everything in my life. So I'd already had this period, this 3 week period where I'd completely upheaved our lives, my poor boys.
mm.
And then I thought, well, what else can I do? It was just really trying to challenge myself to break out of that. And I knew that I had to dig deep and change my life and change my frame of reference around my life in order
Yeah,
to succeed and become the person that I know I am and the person that I had been before, if that
yeah,
makes sense. So it's
absolutely.
yeah, so it started quite small. I after my birthday I just thought, well, I didn't tell anyone. I just thought I'm going to start saying yes to things. I'm just, if someone, the network mum for my school class asked me out for a coffee because I was new to the school, and in the past I may have found an excuse not to make new friends or to meet new people, and so it was just small things. I just started saying yes to coffees, to joining a new gym, to lots of different things. So, and it wasn't until probably 6 months later I started telling people about it, which is when it kind of gained a little bit of traction with friends and family, and everyone thought I was a bit mad, but the things got sillier, and but it's also fun, and it brought some fun to my life, and to this day I can't believe how much it did change my life.
Amazing. And good on you
Mm.
for doing that. That would have taken so much courage. Because, from reading a little bit about your story and for what you went through with your husband, it sounds like you sort of built a bit of a fortress
Mm.
around yourself and your family,
Yeah.
um, as a, in terms of protecting yourself. So, and then it's slowly chiseling that down so that you could really embrace and experience your life again.
Yeah, and I just wanted to become more open, and I felt
Mm.
like I'd been quite closed and, you're right, protective for so long. And and I still am. I'm still a sole parent to two boys, and I'm very protective of them, but I also wanted them to show them that you could find joy, and that what had happened doesn't have to define us as a family. And we can enjoy life and find that joy. And if anything from that experience of losing my husband, the one thing is, be grateful for every day that we have here and do what you can to enjoy it, because we're only here once. And if I just want to leave the world in a slightly better place than I entered it, then that's a success in my life.
Absolutely. Hear to that for sure.
Mm.
Now, your year of yes, it didn't just change your personal life. Did it help you to really, I suppose, catapult Air Women into the limelight? Because you had created that before your year of yes, but did it give you even more courage to go, yep, this is happening and we're going to get this out there now?
Absolutely. I mean, again, part of it was the networking around a new business and
Mm.
knowing that as a founder, you've got to put yourself out there. And that was terrifying to me. So that was part of that year of yes, is push myself out, join networking groups, social media videos. Um,
Yeah.
did not come naturally. And, I've got better with it over time, but it's still the one, the hardest part of my role. And as a founder in a business, in a startup, you spend a lot of time on your own too. So to put yourself out there publicly, to talk about the business, talk about my story as well, and doing things like this
Mm.
has absolutely been really a challenge, but enabled me to push air out. And the one thing I love about our company is that we're helping other women feel more like themselves. And so that does make it slightly easier, but it's you're telling personal stories all the time, and that can be hard. So yeah, that was definitely part of that year of yes, and pushing it out there and just taking a chance. And my husband's favorite saying was no parachute, which really means just throw yourself in there, and if you take all of the risks, you're going to do everything you can to make it work. So I've really just carried that through and, just thrown myself into it and hope for the best. So,
There's always that element of hope. It's like, oh my God,
mm-hmm,
I hope this works out. It's
mm-hmm.
similar to when I jumped into my own business. I had no idea what I was doing. Like, it was the most insane decision when I look back on it, but one of the best decisions I ever made, because I was
Yeah.
just like, oh, yeah, I can do this. And then it's like, I really sort of hope I can, because I've not got a whole lot of strategy behind this. So
I just wake up every morning, give myself a pep talk. So,
exactly. So in
yeah.
talking about that, how did that year of yes, really shift and shape your mindset to help you move forward? Because starting a new business is a bloody hard slog and it's a challenge.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think the one thing it did for me that really changed me is just finding those little moments of joy. And
Mm.
that's what I've carried through, because what I figured is, and there's lots of little things I did, but I just thought if I failed, it doesn't matter because I've tried. And a couple of years ago, I wouldn't have even tried. I wouldn't have put myself out there. So, I'm winning just by trying. And that's kind of what I've carried throughout that whole year. And that was the biggest learning is, your endorphins are going to flow because you've given something, you've really tried. And that's one other thing I'm trying to teach my boys is just to try and give it a go, because it doesn't matter if you fail. The fact that you've given it a go is the number one thing that you should do. So, but it also gave me more confidence and gave me more of a voice, and just to know that things don't matter. That what's important to the world in the world is your health and happiness, and that
Mm.
has to be number one. So that's what I've carried through, and it probably also allowed me to just stop caring what people think anymore,
Yeah.
um,
Yes.
which is so freeing. I can be more honest. I feel like I have harder conversations with people now. Um, I'm not that I was ever combative, but or maybe sometimes, but it just you've got to have that confidence to speak up and say what you mean and get better at articulating, I think, what you need in life from
Yeah.
people. So it might sound long-winded, but all of that year of yes helped with working out, number one, what was important to me, what my values truly were, how to find that joy in my life, and to stop worrying about what other people think about me.
Yes, I love that. There's so much in that response that I
Yeah.
love,
Mm.
because it's so liberating to just let go about the care of what other people think.
Oh,
Um,
it's such a mind shift.
oh, it's
Mm.
just so great. It's just like I just want to be me,
Mm.
and feel free to do so. But I love what you said about teaching your boys to just give it a go, and it doesn't matter if it works out all right, because that's building resilience,
Mm.
isn't it? And
Yeah,
resilience is something that our younger generation need to
absolutely.
handle this world, that crazy world that we live in.
And I think that's going to be the number one challenge for the next generation coming through is
Mm.
that lack of resilience. And, I think any way that they can get types of resilience building, whether it's getting outside or doing different programs, it's going to be the next wave because, I will say my boys do have lots of resilience. They've been through a lot.
Yes.
But you still have those daily, give it a go, you know, try this. But then I wouldn't have done it at their age either. So there's that element. I've got two, quite shy boys. So you do need to push them out a little bit. But as long as they can see me doing it, I think that they're taking it on board. And that's the main thing. It's going to get in there by osmosis at some
Yeah,
point.
absolutely.
Mm.
Can you share with us like just some of the things that you did that you never thought you would do throughout that year?
um, well, yeah, there's quite a few. I mean, even God, just stupid things. Like I was really I'm from Melbourne as well. I live in Sydney now, but I'm from Melbourne, and I moved to the beaches here. And number one, that is beautiful. Just to have the open skies and the ocean
Mm.
air around me every day is amazing. So, I do challenge myself to try and get in the water, even if I know it's going to be cold. I was in Melbourne that Christmas and I was quite proud of myself for never actually going to the MCG to watch the cricket. And, it was just never, I was like, I've never done it, never will. And then I did. So,
Yeah.
and it was fun. And then, I went on a few dates. Again, that was just not something I thought I'd do, is join the app. So I didn't do it for long, but I did have quite a few dates. Um, I even just, again, little things I did, the treetops adventure, I
Yeah.
went scuba diving, which I was always terrified to do.
Mm.
I started pole dancing, which was a
Mm.
dare, a bet with my business partner, Kate. Um, and again, I never thought I would love doing it, but I do. It's just built in that sense of fun, and it's really hard, and it's a
Yeah.
group of women cheering each other on. But, I just love it. So, I bought a mini convertible that, I had one before I had kids, and then I thought, stuff it. I love it. And I thought it'd be good for the boys too. Just something we do with together or with their friends. We just go out for a drive with the roof down, and, they're little things, but they all add up to a different way of life and a different way of thinking.
Absolutely. I
Mm.
love that. I take my hat off to you for scuba diving.
Yeah,
Pole dancing, like
I know, it's
that's
fun.
hard. That takes strength so
It's
much.
really hard, but that's what we need. I'm 50 now, and I need that strength. The one thing that we try and say within the business, and with other women, is you've got to be strong, not skinny. You need to build that strength, because
Yeah.
to increase your health span, you need strong bones, strong joints, strong muscles, because the one thing you want to avoid is breaks and falls as you get older. So if you can do that. Now, I mean, it's also dance. So, I'm using my brain.
Mm.
It's flexibility. And, I've spent all my life, I was dancing, then a lot of gym work, a lot of yoga, a lot of Pilates. And funnily enough, pole kind of brings it all together. And, I'm
Yeah.
learning dance routines. And, that's been a challenge for my 50-year-old brain to kind of get into that. But it like I said, it brings it all together, and it's a really amazing strength and joint mobility training as well. So
Yeah.
I would encourage everyone to give it a go. Went in last week, and there was a woman who must have been like 70 doing it,
Oh,
giving it a go.
wow.
She was in a beginner's class, and I was like, good on you. Like,
Good
I will
for her.
bow down to you. This is amazing.
Absolutely. Oh my
Yeah.
God, I might have to check out if there's any classes around here, get my
Yeah.
uncoordinated.
And, and you just go to the girlfriend, have a laugh. And
Yes.
that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's full of women, all different shapes and sizes, because
Yeah, okay.
you need skin to grip to the pole. So people are, progressively you start to wear less and less, which is funny because I mean, I don't want to get my gut out either, but you need it to grip onto the pole. So, but they've got
Right.
women, all different shapes
Oh,
and sizes, all cheering each other on. So if you get a trig, you're all cheering each other. And so it's just kind of, it's empowering. It's fun. You know, it's good.
that
Who
sounds
would have
so
thought, right?
good. I love it. I love it. It's like, who cares? I'm doing this.
Yeah. Even
Beautiful.
funnier when I post on my social media. So
Yeah.
I'm just glad my boys aren't on social.
Yeah. Not yet, anyway.
And I hope they don't tell their teachers either. I keep saying to my 11-year-old, do not tell your teacher that your mum does pole dancing, because they will think it's something entirely different.
Oh my gosh, too funny. When they do, when I don't know, like, when they do it in kinder, tell us what your parents do. It's like show and tell or whatever it is,
Yeah.
too gorgeous. I could just imagine that. But let's get on to Air Women. So tell us about it and tell us about the whole philosophy behind it and
Yeah.
what you're aspiring to do for women. Your products are beautiful.
Yes.
So, yes, tell us about it.
Yeah, so I mean, we love, obviously. Kate
Mm.
and I started working on it during COVID. So we were just doing, our 10-kilometer walks when we were in lockdown, talking about how we were feeling. And I keep saying to people, we almost ran out of things to talk about because we spent so much time together. And then, we finally got onto that. Gosh, I feel like shit. I've got no energy. I'm not sleeping. I'm putting on weight. I'm feeling really anxious, all of those things. And, I think we started talking to our friends, and we realized that other people were feeling the same way. And so we just started doing research. We went into Chemist Warehouse. We looked at all of the supplements in there, and it was just so confusing, so
Yeah.
overwhelming, really ugly. There was nothing that brought joy or empowerment. And, there are a couple of brands out there that talk to this age group, or probably more menopause than we're very much perimenopause into menopause. So from 40 onwards, which is that really busy time of life where, we
Mm.
have kids later. So we generally still have young kids. We're working really hard. You're usually at the peak of your career,
Mm.
and you're exercising a lot, but then all of a sudden the hormones start to kick in, and you just don't know what's going on. And most of us are in some level of adrenal fatigue. And what women don't really understand is that you really need your adrenal system to be operating at an optimum as you start to move through perimenopause. So we did the research, and even the couple of brands that are out there from a global perspective that talk to this time of life were really anchored in fear.
Yeah.
And it's all driven around negativity. And whilst it's amazing that people are talking about perimenopause and menopause so much more now, there's still a lot of fear around it. And so we just knew we could do it better. I've got a beauty background as well. So we wanted something that looked beautiful, and, you could leave out on your desk, or even, at work or on your kitchen bench, and not be afraid of it, and not be embarrassed to have it there. So the number one principle was obviously they had to work. So all of our products, the ingredients are at clinical dose, which a lot of brands don't do. They'll put in just a smidge of an ingredient to make a marketing claim. So we have less ingredients, but we put more of each
Yeah.
in. So every ingredient has to work. Um, and so it's all about efficacy, and then it had to look good. We wanted women to feel really great using it. Um, and that's even from the naming conventions. Our morning product is called Show Up because we want you to show up for everything that's important to you, whether it's your kids, your work, the gym, your everything that you're doing. And then the night one is called Reboot. So it's all about rebooting for the next day. So again, it was all bringing joy, color, beauty to supplements, which nobody has done. So we're really proud of it. And, we've got new products that we've just launched, and everything is built specifically for women in this age group. So as an example, our collagen, there's many, many collagens out there, but we've brought to market one that is really focused on bone density and joint health, and it still does skin. It's a dual collagen, so it looks after your skin health. But, I've just had all my bone density scans and body composition scans, and it's really interesting. We need to have a look and see, how dense our bones are, because now's the time. So, for instance, if you've got great bone density, but over the next 10 years, you're going to lose 10% of that density, you want to be starting
Yeah.
from a good place. So
Yeah.
every product and every ingredient, it has an element of focus for women in this age group.
I love that. And you're right, like I've got your the Show Up and the nighttime one. The name escapes me. It's on my
Reboot,
table over there.
reboot,
But Reboot,
reboot.
yes.
Yeah,
And you're right. It's just they're beautifully designed, even down to the font. I love the font
yeah.
of the
And it's all
product as
built
well. It
around
looks
beauty
beautiful.
regimes as well. So we wanted
Mm,
something that you could just put on, or you just take in the morning when you're having your coffee or putting your sunscreen on, and then just one product you take at night when you're brushing your teeth, and just keep that simplicity, because I certainly don't have time to take 10 different supplements a day.
no.
So the brand, and I don't remember, I don't want to be carrying around a pill box with 10 different pills for each day. I don't have time to sort it, and it's not going to work for me. So, it's built around the two products, the morning product and the night product, and then it's almost like boosters around it. So just like you might need a retinol for your facial regime, you might need Zipped for bloating and metabolism, or you
Yeah.
might need gut health, or you might need immunity and skin health. So that's the way we've built it, is to bring that simplicity and really easy to understand, really easy to use, and not just overwhelm people.
Yes. You're so right. And just even back to the point that you made about the products not having a gazillion things listed on it. That's something I noticed as well. It's like just really select, very clear what's in it. It's so easy to understand what you're
Well,
taking.
you have to remember a tablet is only like this big. So if
Yeah.
there's 50 ingredients, how much do you think of each ingredient is going to be in that tablet?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you have to think about clinical doses and look for products that have got clinical doses in.
Yes. Great point. And really good point about collagen. I think I'm
Mm.
going to have to look that up now and get
Yeah.
some of that from you too.
Mm.
Um, so I know that you are really passionate about wellness, as you've
Mhm.
shared. How do you take care of you? Because you've navigated some really tough challenges, from widowhood to launching your business. You're a mom, so much change going on. How do you look after you? Do you have any particular rituals
Mhm.
that
Um,
accompanies your beautiful products that you take?
yeah, well, first of all, I don't have everything under control. And the joke in our family is from the boys is that mummy stuffs up everything. So when it comes to school, particularly, how overwhelmed it gets with school messages. I'm the one who forgets every mufti day. I forget to pay for I forget everything. The kids come home like, oh, mum, it was this day today. Like, well, you need to sort this yourselves. I don't, I'm doing a million things. My brain can only hold so much information. So the
Yeah.
boys have learned that they need to take a little bit of control themselves.
Yeah.
That's a good learning for them. And I keep saying to them,
Yeah.
my only job in this world is to make sure that you grow up to look after yourself. So let's start that now. Um, but mine, look, I'm really fortunate in that I taught yoga for 10 years. So when everything happened, I felt like I had a lot of tools that I could call on. Whether it was from mindfulness, meditation, just getting outside. I'm very good at listening to my own body now as well. And
Mm,
again, that's come from teaching yoga for such a long time.
okay.
And I did that while I worked in corporate. It was only, teaching once or twice a week. And I probably understand yoga more now than I did even when I was teaching it, and
Mm,
what works. So I have a couple of little routines. Every morning I get up before the boys, I sit on my balcony and have a coffee and meditate and write in my journal. I don't always write, but I do have it there. I sit there with my dog and my two cats, and I just enjoy that half an hour, 40 minutes on my own. And I have to
mm,
get that time in now. It's become such a really big routine for me. Meditation every morning. And even throughout the day, if I'm feeling really anxious, I'll just drop into a meditation. And
mm,
it's a really important tool to have. They're the biggest ones. I exercise every day. I need to. I need to do it for my own health. But for me, it is definitely balancing the mental health with the physical health. And I'm really conscious of my mental health now. Um, I'll sit in emotions. I don't believe anyone should be afraid of their emotions, but
mm,
take the time to understand them. So, if I'm feeling really sad or really angry or really anxious, again, I'll sit on the balcony and almost meditate through them and just understand why I'm feeling that way, and also think about how it's affecting my body. Where am I feeling that emotion? And let it play through, because if you're fighting them, it's just going to stay there. So I spend a lot of
mm.
time on internal reflection, and that's really helped me grow over the last couple of years as well.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. I think that incredibly empowering. And just, when you were sharing your morning routine, it's just so, I can just feel that calm, like that sense
Mm.
of peace around that. And
It doesn't
starting,
stay like that.
no, but starting your day like that, at
Mm,
least you experience that, you start,
mm.
grounded, anchored to that. And I have no doubt that does help you navigate the chaos of the
It
day.
does, because I could say I'll meditate before I go to bed, or I'll
Mm,
do all of these things later in the day, but the longer the day goes on, the easier it is to avoid it or to put it off or find something else to do. So it's like exercise, I used to always exercise in the mornings. I can't, the way that our school day works doesn't work for that now. But
mhm.
as long as I know I have that time to myself, that meditation, and it's a daily habit that is grown, and I will not let it pass now. It's the one thing that anchors my day.
I love it. Thank you for sharing that.
Mm.
So I love chatting with you, Lisa. And my final question for you is if you could leave our listeners with one piece of advice or a message of encouragement as they step into their new year
Yep.
and maybe their own year of yes, what would that be?
I would say to everyone, just find that time for mindfulness or meditation. And it's really terrifying to a lot of people. But, I listen to a couple of podcasts, Mindful in Minutes is one of my favorite. And there's lots of tools out there. It could just be 3 minutes. You just start small and take deep breaths. And I know people might find, people hear about something like a box breath, but just
Yeah.
try it. And it's really simple. I don't really do that one, but I just find a really good podcast, or I listen to some, chimes in my ears, or I just sit and watch the waves. It's just take that time. It's really important. And like I said, even if it's 2 minutes, if it's half an hour, don't make it hard for yourself. Just find it and start small and see where it takes you, because it is the one thing when you think about our age group as well, and the
Mm,
rise of cortisol, which is our stress hormone that leads to abdominal fat gain. All of those things, just that one simple change of reducing your stress levels can change your experience through perimenopause so much.
yes. Beautiful. Thank you, Lisa. And thank
Thank
you
you.
for being so generous with what you've shared with us today and for being
Mm.
part of kicking off Leading You and empowering our listeners to have an amazing year.
Thank you so much for having me. I loved it.
Thanks, Lisa.